Some betrayals do not announce themselves with shouting or slammed doors. My entire reality shattered on a brisk afternoon in the city of Chicago, while my young daughter stood just a few feet away holding a handmade card. I believed I possessed a perfect marriage until the desk clerk at a luxury hotel looked at me with pity. That single look exposed a parallel existence I never knew existed. My name is Joanna Vance, and I used to find comfort in predictability. For nearly 12 years, I worked as a financial coordinator at a local clinic, which perfectly suited my love for balanced ledgers and clear outcomes. My husband, Julian, worked as a corporate director for a healthcare distribution company. He possessed a natural charm that could put anyone at ease instantly. We shared 18 years of marriage before the foundation cracked beneath us. Our relationship had transitioned into a quiet partnership built on routine and familiar patterns. I truly believed that kind of steady affection was far more valuable than temporary passion. However, I failed to realize that Julian was looking for something completely different outside our quiet life. During the final 6 months, his professional travel increased dramatically. Julian offered logical reasons regarding major contracts and client dinners, which I accepted without a single thought of suspicion. When this specific trip to Chicago arrived, he claimed it was the most critical meeting of his entire career. Our 13-year-old daughter, Maya, missed her father deeply during these long absences. One morning while eating breakfast, Maya looked at me with bright eyes and suggested a surprise trip to visit him. The idea of flying across the country to shock Julian felt reckless, but the excitement on the face of my daughter convinced me. I arranged a vacation day and purchased 2 tickets to the exact hotel Julian had specified. I contacted Julian the evening before our flight to mention we would be busy, so he would not call during our travels. He sounded distinctly relieved and suggested that my daughter and I enjoy a quiet weekend at home. I did not realize he was clearing his schedule to ensure no interruptions occurred during his secret life. Maya spent hours creating a decorative card for him. The morning air was freezing when we finally touched down in the windy city. We navigated the bustling streets toward the Grand Hotel near the river, where Julian claimed he was staying. Maya was practically trembling with pure anticipation as we walked up to the reception counter to locate his room number. The woman behind the desk began typing before pausing with a confused expression. The clerk informed me that no guest existed under the name of Julian Vance. She explained gently that the medical distribution conference had actually concluded the previous afternoon. I stood frozen at the counter trying to reconcile her words with the schedule Julian had given me. Before my mind could process the information, Maya pointed eagerly through the large glass window facing the street. Across the avenue, Julian was walking toward an upscale residential apartment building. He wore the exact brown wool coat I bought for him during our last anniversary trip. My stomach dropped instantly when I noticed a glamorous woman walking closely beside him. Her arm was looped through his, and she laughed warmly while leaning her head against his shoulder. I quickly stepped in front of Maya to block her view, while inventing a quick excuse about the blinding glare of the sun. I instructed my daughter to wait in the hotel lobby while I went to resolve the registration error. My heart pounded furiously as I crossed the busy street toward the apartment entrance. I watched them exit the building dressed elegantly for dinner. They walked toward the exit, and the woman kissed the cheek of Julian while making a shocking statement. She noted that once the divorce became final, they would no longer need to hide. I stepped forward and called his name into the quiet space. The practiced composure on the face of Julian shattered instantly into absolute terror as he stared at me. The woman looked between us in deep confusion until I introduced myself as the wife of Julian. The stranger revealed her name was Vanessa, and she was completely blindsided by my presence. We quickly discovered that Julian had been spinning a web of deceit for 9 months. He told Vanessa that we were separated and that our divorce papers were already filed. Julian had even shown her fabricated legal documents to prove his false narrative. Vanessa looked at him with disgust as she realized she was an unwilling participant in his elaborate fiction. I received a text message from Maya asking when we could finally surprise her father. I told Julian to stay away from our room until I figured out how to protect my daughter. I walked back across the street feeling entirely numb inside. Maya noticed the distress on my face immediately when I entered the room. I explained that the schedule of her father had changed, and he was staying at a different location nearby. When she asked if he did something bad, I explained that he made choices that hurt our family deeply. An hour later, Julian knocked on the door looking broken and uncertain. Maya ran forward and handed him the handmade card expressing how much we missed him. I watched something fracture inside him as he read the innocent words of his daughter. Maya asked why he lied about his meetings, and he could not find a single word to justify his actions. After Julian left the hotel room, my phone buzzed with an unexpected message from Vanessa. She wanted to disclose everything and sent numerous screenshots detailing their relationship. The messages revealed that Julian had been using the apartment for months while claiming to be on business trips. The most horrifying discovery was that he calculatedly claimed I had already signed away my rights. I opened my banking application in the dark bathroom to review our finances. While our main account seemed normal, our primary investment fund had been systematically drained over the past 6 months. Julian had secretly transferred nearly $78,000 to finance his new life in Chicago. He had also drafted a hidden separation agreement that would leave me financially ruined. We flew back to Virginia the following morning while Julian remained behind to face his company. The flight was completely silent as Maya stared blankly out the window at the clouds. Once we arrived home, I suppressed my grief and immediately got organized. I secured copies of all financial statements, tax returns, and property deeds before contacting a legal professional. My attorney, Diana Albright, advised me to remain calm while a forensic accountant investigated the missing funds. She explained that the money Julian spent on his secret relationship could be recovered during the asset division. Diana also reminded me to keep Maya isolated from the legal battle to protect her emotional well-being. I realized my goal was not destruction but survival. Julian returned days later and attempted to minimize his actions as a temporary lapse in judgment. I pointed to the bank records spread across the table and told him that Chicago was not a single mistake. It was the moment I finally witnessed the calculated choices he had made for months. His company eventually discovered his fraudulent travel expenses, and he resigned in disgrace. The legal negotiations took months of painful deliberation before a final agreement was reached. The court ordered that the stolen funds be deducted entirely from the share of Julian. I retained the family home and secured financial support for the therapy of Maya. We signed the final papers near the elevators of a dull office building, ending our 18-year marriage forever. A year later, the divorce was finalized, and I established my own independent accounting firm. Maya slowly rebuilt a distant relationship with her father through quiet lunches and boundary setting. One evening, we sat on the porch together watching the sunset in peace. Maya noted that she still loved her father, but did not trust him yet, which I completely validated. We eventually returned to Chicago for a vacation, just the two of us. Standing by the river, Maya asked if I regretted taking that initial fateful trip. I told her that I regretted what we discovered, but I never regretted uncovering the truth. That journey did not destroy our family because it simply forced the hidden truth into the light. Healing taught me that the end of a lie is exactly where an authentic life begins. We initially traveled to surprise a husband, but we walked away with our freedom. If this journey resonated with you, please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you believe I handled the situation correctly, or would you choose a different path?